Good morning, students. So today I am here to discuss some of the questions on limits which is asked in the JEE main exam held in January 2020. Very recently it was held in January, and we have to solve some of the questions which are asked on limits, right? Let us proceed. This is my first question. The question is limit x tends to 0 3x square plus 2 divided by 7x square plus 2 raised to the power 1 divided by x square, right? So to solve this kind of questions, remember one formula. The formula is limit x tends to 0 when it is, so it will be 1 plus x to the power 1 by x is equal to e. So I must try to bring this form to solve this question, right? So what to do then? Look at this, how I solve it. First thing is I will let x square equals to t, and when x tends to 0, our t also tends to 0. So my limit is been converted it like this. Limit t tends to 0, this is 3t plus 2 divided by, this is 7 times t plus 2 raised to the power 1 divided by t, right? Now what I do, I need 1 in the beginning, because in my formula limit your t tends to 0, 1 plus t raised to the power 1 by t must be equal to e. So to use this formula, what I will do, I will bring 1 in the first term. So it will be limit t tends to 0. So now in order to bring 1 in the first term, what I do is divide 2 in the numerator and the denominator. So it will be 1 plus 3 t by 2 divided by 1 plus 7t divided by 2, and this whole thing is raised to the power 1 by t. I think this concept is clear to you. This is 1 plus 3t by 2 divided by 1 plus 7t by 2 raised to the power 1 by 2. Let me save this page for you. Next, now let us proceed further. So this is limit t tends to 0, this is 1 plus, this is 3t by 2 raised to the power 1 by t whole divided by limit t tends to 0, this will be 1 plus 7t by 2 raised to the power 1 by t, right? So what I will do, this is limit, in place of t tends to 0, I write it as 3t by 2 tends to 0. Then it is 1 plus 3t by 2 raised to the power 1 by 3t divided by 2. Now in order to have this concept of or convert it into 3 by 2, let me write it properly first. So 1 plus 3 by 2, what I write, 1 by, in place of t I wrote 3t divided by 2. Now if I write it as 3t by 2, then in order to compensate this one, I have to multiply 2 by 3. So here also I have to raise this power to 3 by 2. Next, in the denominator, limit, in place of 3t by 2 t tends to 0, I will write it as 7t by 2 tends to 0. Now this one will be converted to 1 plus, this is 7t by 2 raised to the power 1 divided by, again I wrote it as 7t divided by 2, and the entire thing is raised to the power 7 by 2. Is that clear? Now as my formula says that limit x tends to 0, 1 plus x to the power 1 by x, it is equal to e, right? So this entire thing I can write that in the numerator, this is e to the power 3 by 2, because from here to here it will become e to the power 3 by 2 divided by e to the power 7 by 2 in the denominator. So it will be e to the power 3 by 2 minus 7 by 2. So it will be e to the power 3 minus 7, which is minus 4 by 2, or e to the power minus 2. So the final answer is 1 by e square. This is the final answer to this question. So this question has been asked in JEE Main this year's first shift 2020 January it was held, and you have to solve it like this. So I have talked about this formula. So it has some uses in JEE Main. Directly on this formula the questions are been asked. So I hope you will practice the question once again and try to have a thorough revision of this question, right? So let me save this page. Let us proceed to the next question. Our next question is asking, this is question number 2 for today. Limit x tends to 0 1 by x, then log 1 plus 3x divided by 1 minus 2x. Is that clear? So now what I will do is I will use a property of log to solve this question. You know, log a by b, whenever it is written, then I can write it as log a minus log b. So this property of log I am going to use. So let us see how I use this property. Clear? This is equal to limit x tends to 0 1 by x. I will write it as log 1 plus 3x minus, this one will be log 1 minus 2x. So I will have two limits now. Limit x tends to 0 log of 1 plus 3x by x minus limit x tends to 0 log of 1 minus 2x divided by x. So now I have to solve two limits for this. Okay, let me save this page for you. Next, so what I was having, limit x tends to 0, then log of 1 plus 3x by x minus limit x tends to 0 log of 1 minus 2x divided by x. Now let me recall one of the properties of limit. In 11th standard you have read log limit x tends to 0. Your log of this one, log of 1 plus x divided by x. I repeat, we have some technical problem, so let me write this one once again. The things are limit x tends to 0 log of 1 plus 3x divided by x minus, this is limit x tends to 0 log of 1 minus 2x divided by x. So what I will have, you can see, if I put x 0, then this term will become log 1. Log 1 is 0. So the numerator becomes 0 and the denominator also becomes 0. So in this case it becomes 0 by 0 form. And in 0 by 0 form, we know we should use L'Hospital rule. So if I use L'Hospital rule, this will be limit x tends to 0 derivative of log 1 plus 3x divided by derivative of x minus limit x tends to 0, this is derivative of log 1 minus 2x divided by derivative of x, right? So now if I find the derivative, limit x tends to 0, this derivative will be 1 by 1 plus 3x multiplied by 3 minus, this derivative will be 1 by 1 minus 2x multiplied by minus 2. Now let me write it once again. So here I was having limit x tends to 0 1 by 1 plus 3x multiplied by 3 minus limit x tends to 0 1 by 1 minus 2x multiplied by minus 2. Okay, So now if I put 0, this becomes 1. So 1 multiplied by 3 minus, if I put 0, this becomes also 1. This term becomes 1 multiplied by minus 2. So total I get 3 minus minus, it will become plus. So 3 plus 2, which will be equal to 5. So this one is the final answer. So this question was also asked in the JEE main exam of this year. So once again you backward and forward this video to see it again and again, so that you will understand in a better way. Also make the notes of it. Now let us proceed to the third question, right? So in the third question, what I have is, I am having this kind of question: limit x tends to 2, 3 to the power x plus 3 to the power 3 minus x minus 12 whole divided by 3 to the power minus x by 2 minus 3 to the power 1 by x. So you can, sorry, 1, not 1 by x, it is 1 minus x, right? So you can easily see here that there is a factor coming again and again, which is 3 to the power x. So let me split it out. How to split it? Please see, this is limit x tends to 2, 3 to the power x plus, this is 3 to the power 3 divided by 3 to the power x minus 12 whole divided by, this one is 3 to the power x to the power minus 1 by 2 minus 3 divided by 3 to the power x, right? Now what I do, this 3 to the power x is creating a bit of trouble. Now look at this term. I will substitute 3 to the power x, but if I substitute, let 3 to the power x equals to t, then our fractional terms will be there, t to the power minus 1 by 2. So in order to avoid that, what I do, I apply simply 3 to the power x. I will not take it as t, I will take it as t square. Okay, so let me rewrite it, right? So what I will do, this is 3 to the power x. Now I will let 3 to the power x is not t, it will be t square. Now when x, this is x tends to 2, x tends to 2, your t square tends to 9. So 3 to the power 2, which is 9, that means t tends to 3. T tends to 3. Is that clear? So when x tends to 2, t tends to 3. So my limit has become like this: limit t tends to 3. Then this one will be t plus, this one is 27 by t square minus 12 whole divided by, this one will be t. So let me use another page in order to write this one, right? Let me save this page first. Look at this, this is 3t plus 27 by t square minus 12, and this is t square to the power minus half and minus 3 by 20 t to the power 3. Okay, so look at this, that is equal to limit t tends to 3. Now what I will have, if I put it, this one will be 3 to the power x, so it will be t square plus, this one will be 27 divided by, t tends to 3, sorry, again and again there is a mistake, t tends to 3. Now what I will have, 3 to the power x, so it will be t square plus, this one is 3 cube divided by 3 to the power x, which is t square again minus 12 whole divided by, again this is t square to the power minus half and minus 3 divided by t square. So what I have is limit t tends to 3, this is t square plus 27 divided by t square minus 12 divided by, this is cancelled, so it will be 1 by t, 3 to the power minus 1 and 3 by t square. Is that clear? So now once again I say, that if I see the numerator and the denominator, I can use your factorization method also, then I can use your L'Hospital method also, because you see this one first term it will be 9 and second term it will be 3. 9 plus 3 is 12, 12 minus 12 is 0. Next, here also if I put 3 it will be 1 by 3 and it will be 3 by 9 which is also 1 by 3. So I can see they are 3 by t square. They are in 0 by 0 form. Then I think I can use L'Hospital rule for this. Clear? So let us proceed one step ahead. This was limit t tends to 3, then t square plus 27 divided by t square minus 12 whole dash, that means derivative, that is d by dt. Okay, let me write it once again. It will be d by dt of, first one is t square plus 27 divided by t square minus 12 whole divided by d by dt of, this one is 3 to the power minus x by 2, which is equal to t to the power, that is 1 by t minus this is 3 by t square. Clear? So let us find the derivative. So it is limit t tends to 3, this is 2t, then this one minus this is plus 27 into 1 by t square, it is minus 2 by t cube, the derivative of 1 by t square, and derivative of minus 12 equals to 0, right? Now divided by this 1 by t derivative is minus 1 by t square, then minus 3 into minus 2 divided by t cube, right? So once again I write it like this. This is limit t tends to 3. In the numerator it will be 2t minus 54 by t cube, right? Now divided by, okay, so let me use another page for this, it is not getting enough space. Alright, so equals to limit t tends to 3, then derivative of, first one is 1 by t, derivative of t square which is 2t minus this one is 27 into minus 2 divided by t cube divided by derivative of 1 by t which is equal to minus 1 by t square minus derivative of this one is 3 and 3 to the power x, this is t square, so again it will be minus 2 divided by t cube, right? So limit t tends to 3, this one is 2t and plus 54 divided by t cube, this is minus 1 by t square plus 6 divided by t cube. Clear? So I think you can put the values now. So 2 into t, that is 2 into 3 plus 54, okay, this one was plus actually, so it will be converted to minus, this one was plus actually, this will be converted to minus, right? So now again if I put 3 here, this is 6 and this is also t cube, so it will be 2 into 3 minus 54 divided by this one will be t cube which is 27 whole divided by again minus 1 by t square, that is minus 1 by 9 plus 6 divided by t cube which is 27. Now you calculate the values and get the answer. So this is left to you. Okay, so after this I think you can solve it. You just calculate the values and get the solution of this. So this is how we use L'Hospital rule in solving some of the questions related to limits. Now there is a last question, let me solve it, which is asking about integration. This question is very simple. This is asking limit x tends to 0. This is 0 to x t sin 10t into dt divided by x. Now look at this. This is integration and derivative, they are the reverse processes of each other. Now if I put x 0, so the numerator becomes 0 because limit will be from 0 to 0 and the integration is also from 0 to 0. So 0 to 0 integration means the value will be 0. So it is in 0 by 0 form. If it is in 0 by 0 form, then I can write it as limit x tends to 0. This is the derivative of integration 0 to x, right? This is integration t sin 10t multiplied by dt divided by d by dx of x, right? So what I do, if I find the values, okay, in the numerator, look at this, derivative and integration, they are the reverse processes of each other. So it is simply limit x tends to 0. Derivative and integration are the reverse processes of each other. In the numerator, what will be left? The limit will be put now, x sin 10x divided by derivative of x is 1. Now if I put x value to be 0, the value will be 0 divided by 1, which will be 0. So this is how we solve the 4 questions which was asked in JEE Main 2020, and in the next class I will deal with how to find the continuity of a function using the limit. That is, I will find regarding left hand limit and right hand limit. So meanwhile I am giving you some homework. You try to solve this question. So your homework is you solve at least 20 questions on limit from NCERT exemplar book. I repeat, you solve 20 questions from NCERT exemplar on limit. That is available in the 11th class textbook. So NCERT exemplar 11th class book, you solve 20 questions from that, and whatever doubts you have, you will discuss in the next class. Okay, that's all for today. Thank you. Have a nice day.